Why oh why did I decide to set up a new series before this month? Hello everyone, welcome back aboard the night train for the January edition of the Railway Roundup. This month has ended up being the month of bad news. Hopefully it's just 2024 getting it all out of the way immediately, but given the last few weeks I highly doubt that is the case. If you want to stay up to date with railway news, please make sure that you like, share the channel, subscribe and also comment below anything that you've seen going on in the railway community over the last month or so. So when I set up this new series, I've set myself several headings to do with railways and thought I would cover one story per section per month to keep it short and sweet. This month has really hammered it down with the really big stories, not all of them positive, so I thought just to try and balance it out a little bit I would bring in more stories per section to try and give us some positives going on in the railway community and try and lift our spirits up just that little bit, because I think we all need it around about now. So kicking off the railway network news this month is that the LNER has announced plans to scrap off-peak tickets between London and Edinburgh in a bid to overhaul and simplify its ticketing system. Only 3 types of tickets will be available, including an anytime flexible ticket, a 70-minute ticket that can be used up to 70 minutes before or after a train, and all of this is being done as the LNER have realised that only 11% of fares used on this route comprise off-peak or super off-peak tickets. However, concerns have been raised that this will all but price out train travel between the two cities, as for immediate journeys the most expensive anytime ticket might be the only one available, taking walk-up ticket purchases away from commuters. This will be an interesting trial to watch to see just how much it costs consumers in the end and whether it costs them more or less, and whether passenger numbers go up or down as a result. On to another trial, and the East Midlands Railway has had a successful turn with their Period Dignity scheme, which launched in August last year. This scheme aims to offer period products to passengers at the station, which can discreetly be requested by using the phrase "package for Sandy" or "ask for Sandy" at the supervisor's office. The sanitary products are also carbon neutral and designed to reduce plastic waste, and are particularly useful for people unable to get products from retailers out of hours. Several hundred passengers have benefited from the scheme so far, and recently another scheme has been launched to donate 100 period products to local food banks. It's a small scheme, but it's one that goes a long way for improving the comfort and quality of people's rides on the East Midland trains. The biggest piece of heritage railway news this month has been that the Office of Road and Rail has decided to revoke the exemption of West Coast Railways to run a hinged door stock on the main line. This means that all carriages will have to have a central locking mechanism to keep all doors from being opened while travelling, something West Coast Railways does not have on the majority of its stock, and they have previously stated fitting this would render them financially incapable of operating. In response to the Office of Road and Rail's ruling, West Coast Railways have expressed their serious disappointment in the decision, but that they are keen to work with the ORR to identify solutions to enable its services to continue to operate, protecting jobs and vital income from businesses along its routes. This will likely result in changes to the rolling stock used behind heritage engines travelling on the main line. Already early into the year, and we're seeing massive changes to the ways heritage trains run on the main line, so we'll have to see how this pans out over the rest of the year. Last month I highlighted that the first running of the new build Betton Grange locomotive was due to take place at the Battlefield line at their Winter Warmer Gala next week. Unfortunately, the loco's appearance has had to be cancelled as confirmed by a society spokesperson. They said that there wasn't enough time to guarantee completion of the engine and allow time for initial testing before its appearance at the event. Hopefully we'll see Betton Grange pass these tests when they finally do happen and be out and about sometime in the near future. On a more positive note, following the launch of its survival fund last year, the Severn Valley Railway has come out saying they are in a much stronger position than they were at the start of 2023. They have raised over £500,000 of their £1.5 million survival fund, but have also frozen their fares at last year's prices to ensure the attraction remains affordable for visitors. Recent events such as their diesel and winter galas have proven massive hits and have helped the railway along into 2024. However, there are still many challenges facing the Severn Valley Railway and also other railways across the country, but the Severn Valley is looking forward to receiving the support of its visitors by hosting varied family-friendly activities throughout the calendar this year. The nuclear bomb of railway news dropped this week when it was announced that one of the UK's most respected model retailers, Hatton's, was closing up shop after 76 years in the industry. Hatton's has been a constant source of information, innovation and award-winning customer service for the last 7 decades, and it's a real shame to see them have to make this business decision. In their online statement, Hatton's informed customers that they are not insolvent, but that changing market conditions has had a huge impact on the business, such as increased costs of compliance due to Brexit, GST and other operational costs. Hatton's original products have their own dedicated information in the FAQs linked in the description, so please check this out for updates on any rolling stock you may have ordered with them. At present, the P-Class and Andrew Barclay reruns are under review, and more information on this will be communicated to customers in the near future. Just as I finished editing this video, Hatton's posted an update on their website stating that the final date to order is 2 PM on Wednesday the 31st of January. This was due to staff shortages, and in order to clear remaining stock, Hatton's have increased their sale to up to 75% off items. Trunks will also have to be processed and dispatched by the end of the 31st of January, otherwise Hatton's will automatically send these out. As this video has gone out after that deadline, it means that Hatton's has now officially ceased trading and will not be taking any more customer orders. This is without a doubt a huge blow to the model railway scene, and I wish Hatton's all the best in their future endeavours, and send them a most gracious thanks for all of their wonderful customer service and products over the years. On a more positive note, there has been some interesting new model announcements from Rapido. After the positivity of the modelling community towards one of their rejected liveries for their SECR Class 01, after some discussion with the Bluebell Railway they decided to resurrect this rejected livery and release for pre-order a Class 01 in the Bluebell Railway blue livery and have the locomotive named Bramble. Pre-orders can now be placed with a number of retailers for around £170, so soon people will have their very own model of Bramble, a name that I'm sure is to stick with the real locomotive at the Bluebell from here on out. Rapido have also announced some new wagon toolings, these being the Great Western Railway Diagram N19 Loco Coal Wagon and the Great Western Railway Diagram 018 5-plank wagon. Available in a variety of liveries, these can be pre-ordered now for £33 from Rapido directly or for about £28 from the retailers. Stepping up their game in the customer service space, Accurascale have announced that all of their products will have a lifetime warranty, whether bought in the past, present or future. This applies to rolling stock as well as engines, and products bought from retailers are covered as well as products purchased directly from Accurascale. This is undoubtedly a win-win for consumers as well as a stamp of approval for Accurascale's quality control, as they won't want tons of stock returned for amendment. We'll have to wait and see whether other manufacturers follow suit, and whether Accurascale are going to continue to trailblaze and pioneer in the model railway sector as they have done so far. The big piece of events news for this month is unfortunately not a good one as well. On top of the Hatton's closure, it has also been announced that the Worley Model Railway exhibition held at the NEC every year is not going to happen for the foreseeable future. The volunteer team behind this mecca of an annual event released a statement citing a number of reasons for their decision to cease hosting the event at the NEC. Principally, this is down to an ageing club membership and the wish to retire gracefully, and they are saying that the generation of younger enthusiasts required to staff and run such an event on such a scale isn't materialising, so there is no one for them to pass the torch on to. So after 30 years and a return to pre-pandemic levels of popularity in 2023, it seems that Worley is unfortunately no more. It's been a long ride enjoyed by many year in, year out, so I'd like to say thank you to all of the volunteers who put on the Worley shows over the years, and thank you for all of the hard work and dedication you've put in. As one NEC show falls, another one rises. Model World Live is a brand new modelling show due to be held at the NEC in late April. The show is due to be broader in scope than just model railways and incorporate aircraft, military and maritime modelling, as well as different aspects of building across the modelling hobby. As well as 10 model railway layouts, Pete Waterman's 3 Making Tracks layouts will also be exhibited, all joined up to make the longest layout ever exhibited at the NEC. Tickets can be found via the link in the description below. Every month I try and showcase a different book that I've been reading about the railways, to share specific topics and niches that other people may be interested in. This month, I've got this mammoth of a book called Locomotives We Have Lost by William Adams. This is a comprehensive look at steam locomotive classes that never made it to preservation, from pre-grouping days right through to BR days. There are a lot of unique prototypes and wheel arrangements in this book that I haven't seen in model form before, and it would be interesting to see these produced by a major manufacturer. And while there is a heck of a lot of locomotive classes in this book, it's not completely comprehensive, as I noted that there was no North Staffordshire Railway locomotives detailed in here at all. But it is still a very comprehensive reference book for people who want a quick overview of different classes and how they've been rebuilt over the years. This book is still in print and can be bought brand new, or you can pick it up at a discounted price second-hand. So that is everything. All the news. But yeah, it's been a very difficult month. The death of Hattons, the death of Worley, Hornby's Clown Shoe 2024 range. Really? Sandwiched in between those two big pieces of news, you decide to release more Beatles plastered trains, celebrations of toolings that you've destroyed over the years. Locomotion was pretty cool though. But yeah, it's not been a very optimistic month for the railway hobby. There's been a lot in the press about the death of model railways, is everyone dying off that's interested to them, and it's the honest answer is no, it's not. But getting into the hobby doesn't feel any easier than it's ever been. I remember my first trip to Hattons when I was like a third of the age I am now, and it was literally the candy shop of model trains. You'd walk in and there'd be cabinets of unboxed locomotives in every size, shape, colour, wheel arrangement, and to a kid with even the smallest inkling of trains, that's a baited hook for getting you on the line for life. And shops are closing left, right and centre, big and small. It was surprising Hattons went because it was just so big. But over the years, so many smaller shops have just gone. The model shop near me at university closed within my first year there. The one model shop that my dad can get to in person is now closed. When I moved to where I currently live, there was 3 model shops within a half-hour drive. That's now down to 1. And the one that's left inspires the opposite of confidence, actually inspires you to steer clear of it. Because if I was a person new into the hobby, you can't get the basics there. I've gone in on occasion asking for basic Pico set track. Apparently there's been a shortage when you go on Hattons, and they had reams of it at the time. Their loco display cases are pretty much empty, and there's only these obscure high-end models in there. And there's just nothing to get the youth into the hobby, so really what Worley is saying is true to an extent. So there's good and bad of both the online and the mortar and brick model shop world. I have tried to support the physical shops where possible. All the track on the layout behind me has been bought over time. Whenever I found myself in a model shop, I'll look for a bit of track that I'm after, so that the money is going directly to them and not just to some giant online shop. But Hattons, their prices were just way below anywhere else that you'd find, and whether that has come to detriment them now, I don't know. But yeah, the model railway scene, in terms of its economics, is very up and down and complex to interpret. There's been a lot of chatter as well about the affordability of the hobby, and when you look at inflation, the models that you get now cost broadly the same as ones released 40, 50 years ago. They have stayed in line with inflation, and in actual fact, you do get more for your money now. You get firebox LEDs, you get die-cast bodies, you get much better motors and electronics and things running at geared, realistic speeds. So yes, the hobby is expensive, but it's no more expensive than it ever has been. The issue, I think, is the expense of everything else in life coming around and taking from the pot that you would spend on a model railway. Rents have skyrocketed to over an average of £1,000 a month in the UK, double that if you're living around London. Car insurance has almost doubled as well, to the point where some high-end models you can't get insurance quotes for anymore. And food prices as well have skyrocketed, and you add all these things up, needing to get to and from work, needing to insure the car to do that, needing to buy food, needing to keep a roof over your head, And yeah, while trains haven't technically gotten more expensive than they used to be, life has, and that leaves less room for you making the railway and buying the engines that you want. So, yeah, it's not the hobby's fault that it's as expensive as it is. And this cost, it all comes back to when you do want to engage in the hobby, things like Whalley become a very expensive trip. The petrol up there, easily 50, 60 quid, parking, entrance, and that's just getting to and into the show is costing you several £100s, let alone having the spare cash to buy things there, like a locomotive you see at a discounted price, or some wagons, or even some bits in the bargain bin that you want to pick up. It's why I've not been to Whalley for a good number of years, is because it's become a very expensive affair, and I'd rather use that money to buy things for my own railway, or to go and visit and support heritage railways, because, you know, the real trains need support as well. It's not just all about models. But at the same time, there is plenty of new blood coming into the hobby. Just look at the number of YouTube accounts that are popping up of people showcasing the railways they're building, doing tutorials, reviewing products. There is a massive appetite there for it, but it's just society is changing. And yeah, we see it everywhere. Clubs of older members who meet up physically are folding, but people online are getting loads of followers and comments and engagement with just looking at a video of a model. So the way that we're interacting in the hobby is shifting quite dramatically as well. So whether all these people on the internet are going to come together to put on an exhibition at some point, I don't know. But that may be how things happen in the future. We'll have fewer exhibitions, but more electronic connections. Speaking of clubs, it's not all doom and gloom there. Even in my local area, a brand new club has just started operating right at the same time as the original one that a lot of people knew has got no permanent residents left to go. This is the challenge facing these kind of old-fashioned club meetups as well, is they need the space to have their railway layouts out and to build the club layouts, which often requires renting or leasing somewhere, and then they need to cover the cost of this. Everything feeds back to just the basic operations of society, imposing barriers to being able to do the things that we once used to do. So is the hobby dying? No, but there are more hurdles than there used to be. But we are seeing better quality trains, we are seeing new manufacturers up and coming, really showing what they're capable of and flexing their muscles against the old guard. Hornby and Bachmann are definitely going to have to carry on innovating just to stay in the game. But yeah, there are new manufacturers on the scene, new clubs are still forming, new channels and connections are still being made online, new shows are popping up with the new Quay Model World Live at the NEC, and heritage railways are still putting on events out there and trying new things to keep going. So yeah, while there are some clouds over the model railway community and just the life of railways in general, there are still some silver linings that I think we need to keep sight of when discussing all these things. So that's everything from me, mild run over. If you've liked some of the things that I've highlighted, then please make sure to like and share this video, subscribe to the channel, comment below what your thoughts are on the current state of model railways in general. Are you happy with the locomotives people are bringing out? Do you think they're too expensive? Would you like to see something in the middle that is more like the old plastic kind of trains that you used to get, but were less finessed in detail and a more reasonable price? And what do you think of the new exhibitions coming up? Are you excited for these changes in exhibition focus? What are your thoughts? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll see you in the next Railway Roundup. Thank you. Take care.